Hey folks, I am so happy to be back giving this video for you. As you know, if you've been watching my last ones, I had to really get everything up and together to be able to present these to you, and it was a little bit harder than it has been in a long while. So today I come to you feeling amazing, and I am pleased to announce that Venus Retrograde has moved into Libra. So if you've been paying attention, you know that Venus rules Libra. And the Venus retrograde was in Scorpio, and that was a detriment for a lot of Libras, Taurus as well. And it was very overwhelming. So now, even though Venus is still in retrograde, it's more like retrograde on our home turf. And for me, it feels like there's just so much more ease, more clarity. I'm more at my general set point than in the crises that the retrograde in Scorpio have put me under. So I'm really excited about that. Key dates, Venus is going to turn direct, I think around the 16th or 17th of this month, but then the shadow period goes on to December 17th. So some of you who are extra sensitive might still be navigating some things all the way throughout December. Usually for me, it starts tapering off a little bit early because it starts affecting me a little bit early. So I'm hoping that everything is on the up and up for me. I believe that it will be, because another thing I'm happy to announce is Jupiter retrograde in Sagittarius, and I've been waiting for Jupiter retrograde in Sag ever since Jupiter retrograde happened in Scorpio, because prior to being in Scorpio, it was in Libra. And when the Jupiter retrograde occurred in Libra, it was the biggest emotional transformation of my life to date. Period. It was the dark night of the soul. It was just everything to help me even get to this place where I am doing these readings and just sharing all of this channeled information. So I'm really excited for Sag, because Sagittarius is my moon sign, and your moon sign governs your emotions, and Libra is my sun sign, and that is just, me, how I'm out here in the world, how I'm moving around, what I'm doing. And for that Jupiter retrograde to affect my sun sign to the point where it transformed my emotional world, Jupiter coming into my moon sign, I'm really looking forward to changes on my physical world, my external world. The work that I do, being out there in the world, big changes physically, whether it's my body, how I look, my appearance, whether it's who's in my life and who isn't, whether it's where I'm at, what I'm doing, what I'm physically getting my hands involved in. And I'm so excited about that, because I spent a long time feeling detached from the physical plane and being out there in the world and advertising myself, which people keep telling me to do, and I've been so reluctant. And I'm just hoping that this transit is going to help give me that push to really get to that place. And it's a very long transit, so this is going to be here with me for over a year. So I'm super excited about it. It's about to start in a few days, and I'll be talking about it, a little bit more as time goes on, because of course part of these videos is giving you the reading and what I'm getting, but then also giving you a little bit of my journey and where I'm at, because everything that I sit here and tell you is things that I am going through or have gone through. So it's not just me here saying, hey, you all do this. No, really, this is seriously, and it's from the heart. So I thank anyone for tuning in. Share it around. I'm going to get better at letting people know this exists. One of my, a friend of mine just found out. It's like, you have this YouTube channel? I'm like, yeah, I have a YouTube channel. I didn't know. Meanwhile, we've been working together for 3 months. So that's my bad, but I'm going to work to get better at just sharing and letting people know, hey, this is what I do. You should tune in. All right, so we have a couple reverse cards. Let me see. Just a couple. As always, I got the Enchanted Map deck going. I'm in love with it. I'm interested in getting a new deck. I'm thinking about it, but I also want to offload some of my other decks. So I'm trying to think about what I should do with them. And I'll probably bring that up in a future video, the significance of your own personal deck. All right, so the first card that we got is Unexpected Visitors, and it is in reverse. So here's what it looks like upright. Reverse. This is the card in this reversal state. This is the card of change and flow. This is the card of accepting change and not attempting to change things that are out of your control. Not trying to change situations that aren't in your control, not trying to change people that are in your control. And this card being in this first position is like, you know, the immediate past. So there may have been some things you've heard that upset you, or you didn't agree with, or you didn't like, or that it didn't go the way you wanted it to go. It was a change, and you may not have loved it. But the point of this is to just expect that things that you don't like, or things that you weren't things that you're not expecting to happen, and to go with it. Let it be. Just let it be. It doesn't make sense to go against the flow. Going with the flow is letting situations unfold the way that they're supposed to. It's allowing other people to be who they need to be, and not trying to interfere with that or change that. It's allowing yourself to be who you need to be, and going in a direction that brings you the maximum amount of ease as much as possible. Of course, there are circumstances in our lives that of course we know we can't control them, but they need our attention, and that attention might reduce the amount of ease in our lives. So take care of business and what you've got to take care of, but you have to choose these battles wisely and recognize what you can impact and what you can't. Okay, so that's what this is about. And just continuously understanding that everything is impermanent. Things are never going to stay the exact same, and things may never be what you've expected them to be. So you could thrash your expectations and let them go all together. You can reduce them, or your expectation can be what I just said. Everything is impermanent. There are things you cannot control and shouldn't bother to, because you will spin your wheels and be stressed out. And we are looking for ease here, okay? So the next card is Spirit of Place reversed. Here's what it looks like upright. So the thing about this Spirit of Place card is this is the card of being honest with yourself and your circumstances. Like, I was just having this conversation with my BFF about projecting our past experiences into our present. So there are circumstances that come into our lives, instances, individuals, incidents that occur that reminds us of something that happened in the past. And then we think about the past thing, and we bring that past element and that past situation into the present as if we are the same person we were a few years ago when XYZ happened. No. If something is triggering you right now that reminds you of your past, it just means that it's an opportunity to address it and heal it, or that you are healing. So it's important to not bring the past into the present as if it's the same set of circumstances, when chances are it is not. And it's about being honest about what is and not what you want. So, there are things that we want in life. We want things for our future. And sometimes we're in a circumstance where we're trying to shape the current circumstance to fit the narrative that we want for the future, and we're ignoring what the actual circumstances of our present are. So this card is about looking at your circumstances honestly, plainly, cleanly, without any of the extra bells and whistles or changes you want to see to it. So it's not, all right, well, maybe in a few weeks this will be like this, maybe in a few months, maybe some more time it will. No, you've got to focus on what it is today, because whatever it is today affects how you feel today. And the way you feel today governs your thoughts. And if you are in a place where your thoughts are working against you, that's going to affect your future and what you can manifest for yourself. So be honest with yourself about your circumstances And sometimes you just gotta really accept it for what it is and then make decisions accordingly. Right? So that's the present moment. Making decisions accordingly based on an accurate assessment of your circumstances, not what you hope they will be, not what you're trying to work on them to be, it's what they are. The one thing that one of my BFFs would always say to me, she would always quote, "The truth is the truth, doesn't change according to your likes or dislikes." So I know that's quoted from someone, but it's accurate, for real. Just because something isn't what you like it to be does not change what it is. Sorry. All right. And then this last card, Protect and Treasure. This card is about loyalty and determining what and whom we value. So the thing about Venus is Venus governs partnerships, relationships, love, romance, finances. It is a time to reassess your value system as it relates to relationships, as it relates to your finances, as it relates to love. We're moving into the holidays, various holidays. And that's a time where we might be around, a lot of our family members, our loved ones, and our friends. And the thing about it is our friends are people we choose to be in our lives. Our family, we don't have much choice in that. But our friends, we choose. And this is a time to show gratitude and value and prioritize people who are meaningful for you. And I know that gets really hard for us when we have a lot on our plates. We are juggling, we are trying to reach some personal goals, but the people who have been here with you as you've been going through things, that's your tribe. Don't forget about them. Next step is to really show people around you who were there for you, the people who matter to you, determining who matters to you, determining what matters to you, sheath your values. I was thinking about my strategy screen the other day, and if you saw some of my other videos, I talk about strategy screens a lot. And strategy screens are what help me make decisions about any circumstances that come into my life. And I read them every so often, just so I can say, should I change this? Should I change that? How is this stacking up in the scenarios in my life? So it might be a good idea for you to sit down and list out what you want. And even if you don't know exactly what you want, you might know what you want to feel. So start with what you want to feel. I like doing that because for me, my mind will just go all over the place and I'm considering A, B, C, D, and I take it to the baseline and say, how do I want to feel? I want to feel happy, or I want to feel joy, or I want to feel secure, and then that's how I list out the actual values. Okay, so I want to be happy. What can I do today to make me feel happy or make me feel joyful? How can I feed that? And that's how I go about building my values. So now is a time to determine what and whom you value and wear that. Show it. Okay? And then we're moving on to the love deck. Love deck. This was a pop, I'm shuffling and it was boop at the top. I was like, okay, here's our card. Choice. You got a choice to make. I don't know what it's about, but you've got a choice to make. So think about, it's almost like, it's not even just you have a choice to make. What came up for me was it's an avoidance. It's something you're not rushing to make a decision about. You're dancing around, you might be skirting around it. Maybe it could be anything. It could be work related, it could be purpose related, it can be relationship related. It's just something you are avoiding making a choice about. Maybe it feels a little fearful. I started reading a new book where it says fear isn't something that you just intend to just run from. Fear means there's something there, something worth exploring, and that it's only when you feel indifference that you know it does not matter. But when you fear something like fear or anxiety in the pit, it's an opportunity. So you might be having an issue making a certain choice because there's some sort of fear feeling inside and you're afraid of that feeling of fear. Explore it. See how it feels. You know, if you feel indifference, then your choice should be easy. But chances are it's not indifference what you're feeling because this choice card came up. So you have to make a choice about something and it's probably making you feel anxious or uncomfortable. So here's the deal. Remember this, right? Determine your values. When you determine your values, and you do like a strategy screen, which is an assessment, a filtering of what's happening in your life and if they feed those values, because in order to make real progress, your actions must match your values. So think about how you want to feel. Think about the things that you can bring into your life that would help you feel that way, right? Look at your actions. Are your actions going to get you to those values? To get you to be the way you want to feel? No? Yes? That's what this is about. So once your actions are in alignment with your values, it's easier to make choices. When you know what you want and what you don't want, it's easier to make choices. However, I will say, you won't necessarily know what you want until you've had a lot of what you don't want. This book that I'm reading was also saying that we can only try to make a guess about what we think we would like in the future. We only really know what's going to work for us when you're in it. And this is why being present is important, because if you're focusing on being happy, joy, or noticing your emotions, even if you're upset, depressed, recognizing that in the moment and just living with it, it will take you down a path where you will be in a circumstance that works for you. So it's more like taking our experiences day to day to get us to what's right for us versus saying, I want this end game, and trying to make our actions lead toward an end game we have no idea about because we've never had it before. Okay? All right. So make your choice. And then this card also mentioned, about it's like being refreshed in a sense, like washing out what was old, no longer serving you, letting it go, clearing that up. Once you clear out the noise, you can make good choices for yourself. And this card, last healing deck, is replenish. Do whatever you need to feel better, feel energized, mental health day, spa day, meditation retreat, getting out, talking to people, whatever is going to boost your energy, because we can rest all day, but sometimes there are just things that feed our souls, that feed us. Maybe it's helping someone, volunteering, listening to someone share, and not having that kind of energy exchange. Of course, it includes stuff like, maybe you're really tired, you've been staying up, go to bed. Maybe it's you've been feeling very sick, or you come down with something and you need to visit, the physician, or maybe like me, you need to go to your acupuncturist as soon as possible. It's just doing something that is for you. And part of it is, I know it's physical, but I think it's mental too. Because when you are going to take the time to deliberately say, I'm going to do this for me, period. No one else is included. This is for me. I feel like that mind frame just totally helps with wellness in general. And feeling like you're taking care of yourself. Very deliberately so. Right? So that's what I've got for you today. Thanks for tuning in. And for those of you who are on my time zone, it is super early, but I got to get going, and I wanted to do this very early or I would not have gotten to it today. So, everyone, have an amazing day, weekend, everything. I'll be back as soon as I can, right? Namaste.